escaped her along with the faintly bleachy odor of amniotic fluid. Her water had broken. Not good for someone Ashley had never seen. Examining her after the water had broken risked infection. She'd have to take the chance. Ashley shut the door far enough to release the chain, then opened it again. "Bring her in." The man scooped up the woman more like a sack of feed than a person he cared about. "Where to?" "This way." Resisting the urge to suggest he carry his lady in a more loving manner, Ashley led the way down the hall, flipping on lights as she went. "What's her name?" Jane." Ashley's rubber sole squeaked against the floorboards as she halted and twisted around. "You're not sure?" Yeah, sure, I'm sure." The man didn't meet Ashley's eyes. "Jane Davis." "Not Jane Smith?" Ashley kept the thought to herself. "How old are you, Jane?" In response, the young woman made a mewling sound like a kitten and writhed in the man's hold. Not unusual for a woman in labor to remain wordless. Pain caused some females to draw into themselves, and yet that generally changed when the second stage of labor began. Ashley looked at the man, unshaven, clothes rumpled, and that unpleasant animal stink, and tried to meet his eyes without success. "How old is she, Mr. Davis?" He shrugged. 19? 20? Uh-huh. If the girl was 18, Ashley would eat her nurse midwifery license. And if the girl wasn't at least 18 or lawfully married to the man with her, Ashley had trouble on her hands. She resumed her course to the exam room. "How long have you been in labor?" A groaning whimper from the girl was the only response she gave. "Too long. Lying." The man's voice was a mere rumble. For the girl's sake, Ashley hoped he wasn't her husband or even her boyfriend. He was worse than indifferent to her situation. He was hostile to it. She pasted a smile on her lips and crossed the kitchen's tile floor. "How long is too long, then?" "Her water broke an hour ago." The girl groaned. Ashley wanted to join her. She settled for a mild, "Oh, dear." "Made a mess all over my truck." "I'm sure it did." Ashley reached for a doorknob. Accessible through the kitchen and an outside entrance with a small foyer, the addition to the ancient farmhouse had been built by her mother 2 decades earlier to accommodate the patients who found being examined or giving birth at the midwife's home more convenient than their own. This was only the second time Ashley had delivered a baby there, though her mother had used the room often. That other time she'd had a birthing assistant with her and hours to prepare. "Set her on the bed." Ashley gestured to the daybed she used instead of a traditional examination table. Fortunately, she always kept it prepared with clean sheets and special sterile and absorbent paper. Her instruments were sterile as well, but not set out, not ordered, not to hand. Watching the man all but drop Jane on the bed, Ashley began to assemble equipment from her birthing kit. Gloves, clamps, scissors. The patient remained supine, her face ashen and glazed with sweat. Her hands clutched the sheet in a white-knuckled grip while that haunting keening issued from her lips. Ashley needed to examine her, at the least palpate her abdomen to see if the baby was head down yet. If Jane was dilated and the baby's head wasn't down, she needed to call the hospital and take the girl to the nearest emergency room for an obstetrician. She needed one of the birthing assistants she usually worked with, preferably Sophie Trevino, but doubted she could arrive from her house on time. "Will you get her undressed?" Ashley called over her shoulder to Mr. Davis. "Just her slacks." She caught hold of the cart containing the computerized baby monitor, piniard, stethoscope, and a stack of sterile towels and dragged it close to the bed. From the bed, Jane emitted a primal growl. Ashley spun toward the patient. She now lay on her side, her knees drawn up, her arms clasping her belly. She wore loose, dark pants and an oversized t-shirt. The latter was good.